Welcome to another episode of the Mark and Mike Show. Once again, Mike's not with us. I'm riding with Lance today. This will be a video, kind of give you an idea what it's like to ride in the Coast Range of Oregon. So sit back and enjoy. We're going to go for a BMW GS ride.
All right, so I'm not riding with Mike today. That's Lance in front of me. Lance also has a GS. He's got the Rally, the cool looking one. This is the newer version. Mine's a 16. This is a 17 or an 18, I can't remember. I think it's a 17. But Lance is one of those guys who's in his 70s. He's been riding his whole life, used to race. He also dirt rides. He easily beats me in the dirt. We were up last weekend and he was out riding me by a long shot. On the street we're similar, but in the dirt he's a much better rider. So it's a Friday, probably should be working, but Lance sent me a text and asked me if I wanted to go for a ride. I thought, what the heck? And we left the Portland, Oregon area at a little after 9 o'clock. It is a little before 11 right now. We're in the Upper Nestucca, which is where Mike and I go dirt bike riding. And this is just a beautiful motorcycle trip over to the coast. So we're going to head over to the coast and then come back another way up to the Indian Reservation. At least that's the plan. We may change it. And there's the turn off to where Mike and I usually ride. And we couldn't pick a more perfect day to ride, that's for sure. There's a little gravel section up here. We've done a little bit of gravel today. I think we'll do a little more later in the day. But basically this is just a road ride. We're not going to do any trail riding. And one nice thing about being someplace like this is anytime you catch a car, they always pull over for you. People are very considerate. Unlike when you're on a regular road, that rarely happens. But when you're up in the mountains here, I find people are quite a bit more considerate. And this is the type of ride that's really perfect for the GS. Of course, long distance rides, I've done a number of videos on those. I mean, the GS is a bit too heavy to do a lot of trail riding, but you can come up here and if you want to do some exploring on dirt roads, you can do it. Or you can, stick to the pavement. And the nice thing about the GS over other bikes is you've got the option of actually going on those dirt roads or trails if you want to. I don't think either of us want to today. But we've got the option.
And before I met Mike, I used to ride with Lance. And so Lance is actually the guy who introduced me to the Upper Nestucca. He's the first guy to take me up here to do dirt bike riding. So he's kind of showing me around a little bit here.
So Lance is showing me some of the riding areas up here that are at this far end. I never come down here. Although that one we just pulled off at, Mike and I have ridden there quite a few times. We really like that area. So we've made it out of the Nestucca area, and now we're just on a regular old highway. Beautiful ride. We're heading towards the Oregon coast. And one of my very first videos that I edited and put on YouTube, motorcycle related, on this road. Taking the KLR to the coast. Stand up and stretch. Feels good. Yeah, you can tell we're getting closer to the coast because it's got that cool, damp air. In the forecast for today, I was thinking of flying over to the coast. I got some friends camping over there. But there's a cloud layer right at the coast. I won't be able to land at the airport. And it looks like you can see the edge of those clouds up there. And you'll notice following Lance, he almost never touches his brake. He likes to just set kind of a steady pace, and that's just what he does. He's gearing up and down, but he likes to just kind of keep a steady pace. Had a GSXR 1000 that I took on this road once, and this was really a fun road for that bike. Gotta say though, the GS handles almost as good as that Gixxer. For being a big heavy bike, the GS handles amazingly well in the twisties. It just has a really good balance, so you get a lot of feedback, which gives you a lot of confidence. So one thing I've noticed is I installed bar risers about a year ago. I don't know if they show up on the video down here. Not too tall, but it definitely makes a difference in these twisties. I don't have quite as much feel for what the front end's doing with these risers. I feel a little more like I'm on a cruiser and less like I'm on a sport bike than the bike felt when it had when the bars were all the way down, which is interesting because I hadn't thought of it making that difference. As I was going through here, I've been thinking that it feels a little bit more cruiser-esque and a little less sporty. And when I first got the GS, I thought I was shocked how sporty it felt. Look at those huge marshmallows, and they're for sale. So anyway, I guess that's a trade-off of putting bar risers on, is you lose some of the sportiness of the bike. Of course, makes it easier to stand up. It's got a really good feel for it right now. So let's see, this is 101 up here. For those of you on the East Coast, that's the road that goes up and down the coastline. Forgot what we're gonna do here.
So on 101, from here we can either go north or south, so we kind of discussed our options and decided we needed to get some lunch, and that's what we did.
All right, so we've decided we're gonna try to find some place to get some lunch. We figured we can either go up to Tillamook, take that road back, go back the way we came, or go down to Siletz. So this is 101, which runs up and down the coast. Most of the west coast, it runs right along the ocean. This is the one section where it kind of bypasses the ocean. It misses Pacific City up here. I hear people talk about how much fun it is to ride on 101, but I think riding on 101 sucks because there's just nonstop traffic. There's no point in even trying to pass people because there's just mobile home trailers and everybody's just kind of enjoying their ride, so nobody's in a hurry.
Although, as you can see from the video, riding on 101 is definitely very scenic, and it is an enjoyable ride.
More marshmallows. And one thing you guys are missing out on YouTube is the delightful smell of cows. Anywhere down here, I guess we're going to turn around. When you're down here near Tillamook, it smells like cows. I should say cow manure. And if you've had Tillamook cheese before, Tillamook ice cream, then you appreciate the smell of cow manure. And I'm guessing we're going to this place we passed up here.
And so we pulled in here to this nice little restaurant and had one of the worst lunches I've had in a long time. And then this is a little bit later in the ride, probably a couple hours later or so. And it was just so beautiful down here that I had to start getting more video.
So we stopped at a little park there. We're going along the Siletz River here. And this is just a beautiful road. I hadn't planned on getting any more video, but this is such a nice road that felt like I needed to stop and put it back on. We ran into massive traffic going through Lincoln City. It's Friday and everybody's heading to the coast, I think. And this is beautiful. As Lance was saying, this is a perfect road for GS. All right, the pavement ends. Finally.
I was actually expecting that we would do a little more forest road riding on this ride.
We've been doing, we had one short little stretch today of gravel. Let's see, let me change the ride mode.
It's really nice that you can change that on the fly.
Put it on Enduro. I found if I leave it on dynamic, I get traction control coming on like crazy, which makes it absolutely no fun. And they're doing a lot of logging right now, so you got to be careful on these logging roads. The logging trucks will just come whipping around here. Those guys are fast. Hopefully Lance knows where he's going. Okay, the gravel didn't last too long, which was kind of a bummer, although this is a beautiful road, so I can't complain. This is definitely a pleasant road. I tell you, this GS gas tank is lovely. We've been riding for half a day, and I've used up a half tank. Of course, we're not going super fast on these back roads here. But what is it, 2:30? We left at 9 this morning. Lance is like me, he doesn't take breaks. We've stopped to go to the bathroom a couple times, but that's about it. And then we took about an hour lunch, which was, I think, too long, but they were slow. Oh, this is a beautiful road.
And we actually didn't get home until around 6 o'clock, a little after 6 o'clock, I believe. Although the last hour or so, the ride was spent on the freeway, kind of stuck in traffic, so it wasn't a whole lot of fun. But definitely a very enjoyable ride. And as I said at the beginning of the video, this is kind of what you can expect of if you go for a ride on the Coast Range. You notice there was no shots of the ocean in this video. And, you know, it's because we live so close to the ocean. It's really no big deal for us. So we didn't even bother to spend any time at the ocean. So anyhow, hope you enjoyed the ride, and as always, thanks for watching.